Welcome to Road Bike Culture. I'm your host, Kevin Isley. Today we're going to talk about the bicycle that I ride. I ride a Cannondale Super Six EVO high mod Dura Ace bike. It is a really awesome bike. And I purchased it because I was looking for a climbing bike. Because I live in Northern California and everything's climbing. And I really like climbing. So I was looking for a bike that would help me gain some time on my friends and get me ahead of the pack. Aside from wanting a bike that performs very well in climbing, I was also looking for a certain aesthetic. And the aesthetic that I really like is a traditional frame, which is now considered a climbing frame. The Super Six has a horizontal cross tube instead of one that slopes down like you're starting to see on a lot of bikes. I like this horizontal tube. It is traditional bicycle riding. It's a beautiful look for me, and I was really going for that. The other thing I was going for was a light, stiff bike. The Super Six EVO is a thoroughbred of a climbing bike. It is aggressive geometry, it is ultra lightweight, and it is incredibly stiff. But with that stiffness, usually you're going to sacrifice comfort. I'm not saying this is the most comfortable bike you'll ever ride, but for the stiffness and the weight, it is a comfortable ride. It absorbs road chatter quite nicely. The bike came equipped with Dura Ace 9000 components and a Physique Aeron saddle. The wheel set is Shimano R85. The stem, seat post, and handlebars are Cannondale aluminum. One of the first things I noticed about this bike, it wasn't even the bike, it was the components. Dura Ace 9000 shifts like butter. It is silky smooth. For $1,000 more, I had the option of the Di2, but I'm not a big fan of electric shifters. I've never had them, maybe they're great, but there's just something that I'm not into about them. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. The one thing I do know, it's heavier. At the time of purchase, before I put my pedals on it, the bike weighed in at 14.9 pounds, and I ride a 58 centimeter bike, so that's a pretty light bike. The pedals I chose to put on it were Dura Ace, just because I wanted to keep the bike all Dura Ace. I was like, you know, why not? I've always had look, but this time I went Dura Ace. One of my favorite saddles in the world is the Physique Aeron. I've had one before, I really liked it, and I'm glad this bike came stock with it. It's one of those purchases I would have made to put on there anyway. In case you didn't know, when you buy a road bike that's completely built, they definitely go cheaper on the wheel set because everybody knows to go buy a wheel set in about a year or two. It's going to feel like a whole new bike. When climbing with this bike, I realized quickly that I'm a faster climber already, and it's really comfortable. It's not noticeable how much faster you're going. I didn't really realize it until I got home and looked at my Strava, and I set a PR on my first bike ride, not even trying. And surprisingly, as the miles tick away on this bike, and I'm doing a lot of flat riding as well, this bike is a really comfortable bike. They say the best bike in the world is the bike that gets you out there riding. And that's the bike that I have right now. This Cannondale really makes me want to go ride. It really makes me want to attack the climbs. And I realize as well, the bike is way faster than me. It is a better bike than I am a rider, and I can't wait to catch up. One thing I noticed about the bike when I purchased it was the down tube cabling was not internal. And I looked up why they did that. And engineers felt it did not reduce drag enough to poke holes into the down tube and have to reinforce them, adding weight and weakening the tube a little bit. But they did feel it was good, it was appropriate for the top tube. Another thing Cannondale did with this bike to help with aerodynamics is they lowered the water bottle cage on the seat stay. This helped reduce the jetty effect that happens between the two water bottles. The first thing I'm going to change on this bike, probably next year, is the Shimano R85 wheel set. I'm not happy with them. They seem very soft. They're good enough for now, but I want something stiffer. The second thing I'm going to change on the bike is the cockpit. I'm going to leave the saddle, but I'm going to go with a Physique seat post, stem, and handlebars. I think that's just going to finish off this bike. Just a side note, if you want a lighter bike, get matte black. Glossy paint adds gram. Well, I think that just about covers it. My review of the Cannondale Super Six EVO high mod Dura Ace built bike. It's the bike I choose to ride. It's the bike I paid for. It's the bike I truly love. If you like this episode, please subscribe. And I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere. And until next time, I hope to see you out there on the road.